Hi there. It is, let's see, the end of the week 10, end of week 10, living here at Freedom Makers. So, what has happened this week? Well, we had some excitement this week. So, what kind of excitement, Kim? My general contractor slash friend, Yeahhhhhhhh, she had her guy show up here on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. And he finished all the soffit work on the front of the house. And 3 sides have been done, but on the front it had not been replaced. So he came here, he took care of that. He also took care of some drywall inside around the new mini split that I had to put in about a month and a half ago, something like that. So that got all handled this week. And the more exciting part about this is there has been what I first thought might be a rat, so I was calling it Roger Rat. And then I discovered it was actually a squirrel, and so then I started calling it Sammy Squirrel. And the squirrel had been living in the soffit, literally right up here above my head. And as the squirrel was building a nest and all that kind of stuff, you know, there was stuff that would kind of fall down on me. And every morning the squirrel would trot down the soffit and hang out up there with me as I had my coffee, and kind of the same thing toward the end of the day. So I had let the guy that was repairing the soffit, I had let him know about that and asked him to please be very, very careful as he took this particular old piece of soffit down to replace it. And he was extremely careful. And he saved that for the last piece that he did. And he unhinged the other end of it. They had put it in incorrectly. They had put it in going lengthwise instead of slatted widthwise. Any of you that have ever dealt with soffit or know soffit, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, he had unhinged the other end of it, and he moved his ladder over here, and he was very carefully beginning to do something with this end when the wind caught that other piece of soffit. And what occurred at that point in time was, first of all, I thought he was going to fall off the ladder. But what occurred at that point in time was a nest, a squirrel nest, fell onto the deck. And as it fell onto the deck, I and the contractor's wife, who is also here, we both spotted 3 squirrels in that nest. Now, here's the deal. They were not like fresh little babies, you know, where they're still kind of got skin, they're still kind of skin looking. No, they were probably, I don't know, 6 inches long, something like this, without the tail. They had fur. They were walking and running. They had fur on their tails. They were just a little bit older babies, let's put it that way. So she and I grabbed the nesting, we put it in a box, and then we tried very carefully to, you know, get them in the nest without touching them, because I didn't want to put human hands on them. So we tried really carefully, and one went jumping off the deck. And after that happened, of course, the other 2 did also. And the second 2 that went jumping off the deck ran under the deck. We watched them go under. The one that ran off first, however, bolted for the oak tree that's right out here in front and proceeded to start climbing the tree. Now, you got to get this, right? They've lived in nothing but a nest. This is just the wonder of creatures. They've lived in nothing but a nest. They haven't seen trees. And this little squirrely decided it was going to climb that tree. So it did. It climbed the tree and it kind of moved around from one side to the other, avoiding us, playing kind of hide and seek with she and I. While all of this was going on, it finally got itself up to one of the lower branches, and then it just sat there on the, you know, the crook of the branch. And that's pretty much where it stayed. And of course, I'm freaked out because I don't know what to do, and I'm also worried about them because Mama didn't seem to be around at all, and I'm like, oh my God, creatures that are small running loose. So I tagged in with a friend of mine, Lori, who is very versed in squirrels because she rescues all kinds of great creatures all the time, birds and squirrels and yeah, like that. And she said, Mama will come back. They communicate between each other. Mama will find them. And I went, okay. And so I kept my eye on the squirrel in the tree, and I kept kind of coming over to the deck and looking under it. And sure enough, they were kind of hovered together, but they were sitting right here under the deck. They did not go very far. And around 5:30, quarter till 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I hear Mama Squirrel, who has now climbed up in the new soffit. You gotta love that too. Has climbed up in the new soffit now. And I hear her frantically pacing back and forth. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, like for a mother to come back home where she thinks the babies are and the babies aren't there. That has got to be a freak out. So Mama ran back and forth and ran back and forth and ran back and forth. And then I heard at least one of the squirrels under the deck make a peep sound. And then I heard the one in the tree make a peep sound. They do make little peeps, like beep, beep, beep. And then I hear the mother running, and she runs over to this side of the deck, because where she comes in is where she comes into where the old mini split is there. She can't get into the house, but she can get into the soffit by jumping up there and then jumping into the soffit. So I hear her thumping in that direction. And the squirrel in the tree makes a running dash, and the two babies make a running dash, and lo and behold, they are running in the direction of Mom. That's right. So a little later on, I hear Mom, who is now, you know, running back and forth. I'm assuming she collected her children. I'm assuming she got them somewhere safe, possibly back up in the soffit, although not in the same place. There's not a lot of action here. I think she's got them a little further down this time. But nevertheless, and the next morning when I woke up and I looked out the bathroom window, there was Mom jumping up toward the soffit with all kinds of leaves and branches in her mouth. So I'm saying that it's a happy ending, that they were reunited and that everything's okay. But wow, that was exciting. And so what else has happened? So what else has happened this week is I got the banana trees in large pots. I've decided that I'm going to keep them here on the deck for a while and let them strengthen and grow here before I go put them in the ground over in the garden area. And I also replanted some of the plants that I already had here, like the Spanish limes that I had here. I got those replanted. I got all the old dead ski plants. I got them out of the little green greenhouse area, and they're sitting out there, and I am still watering them, and I have them in the sun, and I trimmed them all down. The ones that still had, you know, when you scrape a plant, if it's white or it's green underneath, it means there's still something alive there. At least that's what I've been told. So I did a little scraping and cutting and trimmed them down, and I've got the ones that might come back still sitting there. So we'll see what happens with that. But nevertheless, of the new trees that I got, the dwarf Cavendish bananas and the ice cream bananas are in big pots here on the deck now, which is kind of fun because it makes the deck feel more tropical. And as for the other new ones that I got, the lavender is here. I put it in a pot. It's here on the deck also. The mulberry is, bam, it is springing out, and so is the hydrangea. So those are definitely going to be going in the ground. I still have to decide exactly where I'm going to put those, along with the Chicago hardy fig and the Wisseteria tree. And then, as you know, I still have my magnolia, which is continuing to sprout new leaves, and I have some crepe myrtles out there. So I'm thinking next week will be the week that the shovel comes out and I start placing those things. But this week, what did I do? Well, for probably 2 years, I have hated, that's such a strong word, I have massively disliked the white lattice that was put around the foundation of the tiny house. As most of you know, it is about 2 feet above the ground. It's 2 feet below the ground, 2 feet above the ground. There are piers, and I was required to put a cover around the outside, much like you would for a mobile home. So we put lattice around it, and the contractors that were working on that at the time decided they would put white lattice there, even though I asked for black. And that was okay for the moment because we just did what we needed to do. But the real deal is that I really disliked it. So today I finally got around to painting that lattice, and I painted it a gray color similar to the house, and I love it. There have been other people who have told me, no, I really like the white, it brightens up the house. Just wasn't me. So it is now gray, and I ran out of paint, so I didn't get the back done, but I got the front and the two sides handled with a special spray that it fixes to the vinyl of the lattice, so I didn't have to pull all the lattice down and replace it and blah blah blah. So that was my adventure for today, and believe it or not, that took me let's see, about 4 hours. You know, I had to paint it, I came back, I painted again. That was kind of how that looked. So I got that done today. That was my big project for this Sunday. So what comes next? Well, I just let you know that, you know, what will be happening. We will be getting some plants in the ground next. We're 2 weeks away from Lauren showing up the following Sunday so that we can start, no kidding, planting in our raised beds. And between now and then, I am sitting around with pencil and paper and making drawings of what I want to do with this area, because there's a lot I want to do with this area. And one of the things that has stopped me is the horrible gravel that was dropped all over the property when the concrete guy did his work. He insisted that his trucks needed gravel versus sand. It made sense. But what ensued after that was he dropped like 3 big truckloads of really, it's not even gravel. It's crushed cement pieces is what it is. and he dumped those trucks and did not spread it at like hardly at all. So it's all over. It's all over the front area of my house, and it consumes about half of my garden area. So I'm faced into that I have to put some muscle into this and get that stuff up and out of the way also before I really start prettying up this front area. So I don't know, that's coming soon. But next week we should at least be getting some trees in the ground. And the real deal is between now and then, I'll keep drawing, and Freedom Acres will keep being free, whether it's squirrels or cats or whatever's wanting to be free at the moment is how this is going right now. So I will see you soon. Gracie and I, here we go. This is where you join in. Yeah, this is where you join in. So Gracie and I, we send you freedom for yourself and your life. And as always, you ready? Yeah, you ready? We both send you love, tons and tons and tons of love for yourself and your life. And I have added the last several weeks peacefulness, because I'm aware that that's something that is very, very nice. Another inside job that's very nice for us to be able to bring to ourselves. So I'm just, from me here at Freedom Acres, Gracie and I, and the tiny house with Tiggs the cat inside, we're just sending you all the peacefulness that we're keeping around us here, in hopes that some of you will grab onto it and use it for yourselves. Okay, we will see you soon. This never turns off.